Oh, hey, hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Black Coffee Hour, Austin-based Spurs podcast featuring real human being Spurs people like you. One of those people, Aaron Blackaby. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm great. This is the most Mr. Rogers-ass intro here, coming in nice and easy with your PJ pants on a Saturday morning.
Oh, these are not PJs. They got polka dots on them, but I wouldn't sleep in them, you know.
These are not pajama pants?
You just wear those out in public?
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, I would wear them out in public too, but I swear those are pajama pants.
I've worn these pants to the NBA draft. These are going outside pants.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Sorry for questioning you.
Yeah. Just because I am cozy does not mean that I'm in my pajamas.
There's nothing wrong with being cozy. Zach, are you cozy?
I'm in a terrible mood this morning, guys.
Really?
Steph Curry ruined my weekend already. Twice.
I mean,
but I can't help but like the guy. So it's like it's a weird feeling. It's like I want to be mad, but it's like, damn, Steph Curry is Steph Curry. So what can you do?
That's true.
I get it. I gotta say, I kind of, and we'll get into this later in the show, obviously, I feel this is, I think, maybe the happiest that a series of Spurs losses has made me in some time. You know? If that makes sense, and I'll explain that later.
Hot take, Tom.
Yeah.
No, I left the game on Wednesday, and I was just like, well, if someone's going to beat us, it might as well be Steph Curry. And then I watched the game last night. Well, said the same thing.
Hold on. We'll get into all of this. First off, thanks again for listening to the Silver and Black Coffee Hour. We are a part of Boris Yeehaw Productions.
Yes, we are.
Just that's a little business there. Further, if you are first time here, like, subscribe, comment. It really helps us out. If you have questions throughout this next week of Spurs basketball, once again, drop a question in the comments. We really love those.
And sorry if you can hear my beloved guard dog, Dottie, keeping us safe. She takes her job very seriously. Is Dot coming through on the sound waves there, AV?
Probably.
Probably. She's a good girl. She's very sweet. Just don't run up on my house, you know? Zach, I realized I didn't get your full name, Zach Montana, which delighted our special interview guest last week, Shea Serrano, 5 times bestseller in the New York Times bestseller list, Shea Serrano. Go watch that interview. It's really good. I asked Shea a question that I was really happy about, and he was like, actually, I need to disregard that question for just a minute because is your name really Zach Montana?
It is.
And he just thought that was the greatest thing. We think he's the greatest thing, and that interview is really good. So go check it out.
People don't realize that Zach's full legal name is Zachary Pietro Botticelli Montana. I don't know why Mama Montana named him that, but. He goes by Zach, not Pietro.
I am half Hispanic, so we got to have 2 names in that. So that's 2 surnames usually make sense. So you're right on that.
Actually, wait, hold on, because I saw something this week. Aaron, have we never talked about this? But is your name Aaron?
We can't get on.
Next subject.
We're not talking about this on the podcast.
All right.
But to answer your question, yes.
Okay. He keeps an air of mystery about him.
Mysterious.
I mean,
this is a guilty face.
It's not guilty. I just don't want to get into it.
Listen, if you're in witness protection, we could just cut this whole part out.
This will be deleted.
My ass being in witness protection on YouTube.
Hey, listen. Who can stray away from the siren light of the YouTube fandom?
Hey man, the limelight of niche Spurs podcasting fandom is it's illuminating, right?
Well, we do have fans now because I did get noticed at a Spurs game.
You got
Wednesday.
castrated.
I did. It was very interesting. It was cool. So yeah, those moments happen.
Expand. What do you mean by that?
On what?
You said he got castrated. I don't think he got castrated.
Yeah, when you get recognized for being on a podcast, you're castrated.
That's AB's terminology. That's let him,
Okay. All right. Well, I get castrated all the time. Just everywhere.
Just every time I stepped out in public.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of, there's really not a good
bowls and
segue.
castration. That we're our segue right there.
That's the thing.
Come on.
Rodeo Town.
Yeah, we're right there.
All right. Thank you, Zach. That is we weren't gonna get into this any cleaner than that. Anyway,
I got you.
Man, it's been a long week in Spurs world. From the first game on Monday, a quick road trip up to Chicago.
Lucky.
And then there were 2 games against the Warriors, which we will obviously get into. But Victor Wembanyama this week has been making highlights up and down the league, probably blowing up your algorithms, whether or not you're a Spurs fan or not. And this Bulls game, really interesting. Return of Luke Cornett. I wrote a little poem about it. Luke Cornett is a go, and Giddey was a no. Because DeAndre Hunter hurt his ankles previous weekend that we definitely laughed about on the show. And look, their lead essentially point forward guy and Josh Giddey not playing. This should be very simple, very easy for the Spurs. Well, we're a young team. We like to make things a little harder on ourselves, and we'll probably get into this continuing throughout the season. But we got to figure out perimeter defense because one Kevin Huerter went scorched earth in this game, scoring 23 points. The reunion with Trey Jones, he put up about 20 points in this game. And really, in the first quarter was really awesome because it was just like Nikola Vucevic, not a well-known defender, guarding Wemby straight up. So it was none of the shenanigans that we'd seen the previous weeks of putting smaller defenders on him and changing up. And Wemby cooked in the first quarter. Things went really well. Second quarter, I said it on my recap video. I thought we got a little wonky with the rotations there and who we were playing out. I think at one point we had Jeremy Sohan, Lindy Waters, and Kelly Olynyk all in this game running down the floor, which was like, sure, we're up by double digits. Maybe it's time to experiment, but that gave the Bulls a chance to get back in this game. And look, this is when we said it last week. We wanted Wemby shooting threes. Went 6 of 9 from the field. Nice. And his last 2 were iconic Wemby moments, especially the last one to seal the game. Basically waving off De'Aaron Fox, waving off Harrison Barnes for any type of pick or anything. Yep, that's what he did. And just shot it right over Vooch. Splash. That was the game. And, you know, like I said, he's had a lot of highlights from this week. But the Bulls game, I thought was going to be like, all right, like we're getting this train rolling again. But had the Warriors game.
Man, if you look at the box score for this Warriors game on Wednesday, you would think Spurs probably walked away with the win. Better shooting percentage, more shots, more rebounds, more offensive rebounds, same amount of assists. But then you get to turnovers. The Spurs had 20 of them, which led to a lot of issues on the back end. The third quarter, the Warriors made adjustments, put Gary Payton in there, and really ran this unique 2-3 zone that really stifled Steph Castle. Steph Castle's in foul trouble all night, and also cannot forget to mention that the Warriors shot 20 more free throws than the Spurs by also only getting 22 paint points while the Spurs had 55. So it doesn't really add up. Steph Curry with the second most amount of free throws he's ever attempted in his career, which is a very unique stat. And tells you you're probably not going to win that basketball game when Steph Curry gets another 15 free points on top of not missing. So that is, I think, the story of the game was a hard-fought battle. The Spurs had opportunities to win this game and didn't close. Jimmy Butler hit threes when you're not expecting it. Bad rotations on the defensive end deep in the fourth quarter. The Spurs had a chance to tie it about 9 minutes to go in the fourth, but Julian Champagnie stepped on the line again. And honestly, when that happened, in my mind, I was like, man, that's really gonna sting. And they really couldn't get back to on top of the saddle and get back to even a tie or a lead for the rest of the fourth quarter.
Versus the sideline has been
his biggest issue. Everything else is fine with
real
him.
battle.
But yeah, my interesting stat of the night: the first time in Spurs history that 2 players have had triple doubles. The youngest 2 players to ever have triple doubles as well. And the first time that 2 players have had triple doubles in a game and the team lost. So you can tough one to swallow there. And my star of the game is Steph Castle. He was fantastic. Unfortunately, he was in foul trouble, running and chasing Steph Curry around all game, which really, tied the Spurs' hands behind their back deep in the fourth quarter. They had to pull him, and they had to have They had Devin Vassell guarding Steph Curry, which is not to say it's not a mismatch, but I'd rather have Steph Castle on him. And that's my story of the game.
Yeah. And then we got to last night, Friday,
More Warriors.
the baseball series.
More special courts. The NBA Cup. This is like I know it sounds kind of goofy, but like this felt like the most meaningful basketball game the Spurs have played in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of real stakes, quality opponent, expectations, hype. They just beat you in the last game, and like, if you want a Fiesta colored glasses that first Warriors game, you could call ref show, you could call Steph Curry, you could call it a Scott Foster special if you want. That's, I think, a little bit reductive. There's always things that the Spurs could do better. Like there was no Jeremy Sohan in that game really at all.
6 minutes.
Their rotations were a little wonky. Luke Cornett, as great as he is, when you got a player like Steph Curry and they're setting screens literally at half court for him, it's going to be tough for a guy like Luke Cornett in a drop. And so, we saw a little bit more Sohan, not too much more Sohan in this cup game. Great shooting from Champagny. Spurs were able to build a double-digit lead. Solid overall playmaking and shooting and scoring from De'Aaron Fox for the first 45 minutes of the game. And we'll talk about the last three. But Wemby shot great. He asserted himself on a number of highlight plays. The fake and then lob off the backboard to himself and cram was awesome. What was it? The fast break block, like 30 seconds left in the game. Steph
Jimmy
Curry
Butler
goes
block was
sauce behind the back,
Which,
pass.
by the way, was an offensive foul.
And Wemby, I thought Butler had the angle, because you can get the angle on Wemby, you can get the angle on anybody. And I thought he was protecting the ball really well, and Wemby just said no.
He did the Heisman pose only. It should have been an offensive foul.
It was. He was just way too
Right,
long.
way too long.
He just swallowed it up. But the play that I'm gonna remember from this game is the one that didn't count. Is Draymond Green is fighting him for defensive positioning before the inbound play, right? And there's a little bit of drawing back and forth. The referees are like, "Hey, you guys good?" They're both like, "I'm good. I'm chilling."
Oh, stoic face Wemby here.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm cool. Everything's
Draymond
cool."
is barking at the refs.
Dre's in it, right? As
Yeah.
he is. And the inbound pass comes in, and Wemby spins off of him and dunks just all over him, right down his whole spine. And play was whistled dead. It was like a foul before the play.
Also wrong.
Wemby seems to get a lot of fouls on the floor while he is several feet above it, which is always really, really funny. But man, then looks down like this and starts talking to Draymond, probably with just again it looked very the way he talks his shit, very matter of fact, very calm.
It was like,
Oh no, Tom, there's a sideline view of it. He just yelled in his face. There was not there was he
Spittle
was being
coming
verbal,
off.
but he was not saying. He just looked, as he does on literally everybody in his life, he looked down on him and just yelled in his face. And Draymond, which there's a really hilarious picture, his neck is craned all the way up, is barking back, and the refs immediately got in the middle, but then our boy Jeremy Sohan get right in there. He's like, "Oh, are we gonna fight? Please, let's fight."
You see number 10 coming through and just
well, the funny
like a
part,
fullback.
the funny part before that, when they're wrestling, if you look in the background, Jeremy starts walking towards them. Are we about to? Am I to separate these guys? And then he's like, "Oh no!" And he goes to the corner, and then they run the play.
3 seconds later, he's like, "All right, fight time."
Yeah, it's thank God.
Yeah.
This is what I thought was gonna happen.
Man.
It was It was awesome. It wound up not counting, and it wound up being another Steph Curry show.
Playoff like atmosphere. I felt like.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Because it's like not just a playoff atmosphere, but like give me 7 games of that, dude. Inject that right into my veins. I said that, and Spurs fans got mad at me last night. They were like, "Why would you want that? They are so good on the perimeter, and the Spurs are so struggling with the perimeter defense. And if we played a playoff series right now, the Warriors would dust them." And that's why I want to play a playoff series in real life, because it wouldn't happen now.
Well, let me look. I'm actually with you, Tom, and part of why I'm with you is because the way that history would essentially repeat itself. When the Warriors, especially the Splash Brothers, were coming up, the deterrence from them going to the next level was the Spurs. And it was a couple playoff series where it was like, oh, Warriors are good, Steph Curry's good. And then they came across good old Tim Duncan, the rest of Old Man River, and I was like, look, let me show you guys how this is done. They're now in this kind of last dance Warriors thing. They are now in that position as the wily vets, the ones who got over it. And I just think the poetry of that repeating itself in the playoffs. I don't know right now if we would win. It's not really a matter of right now, but I would love to see that type of playoff series of this is the lesson you need to be learning, young team, against these veterans. So
You know, the one thing I felt, and I think it's never great to feel like a Houston Rockets fan, but the last 2 games, watching Steph Curry just go nuclear on your team, because it's like a mini playoff series where it's like, oh, I got to play this dude again, and he's gonna go do it again, and sure enough, he did it again last night and Wednesday. So I never have sympathy for Rockets fans. I don't care about when they lose, but I know how it feels.
well,
And it doesn't feel great.
I think that kind of, we were kind of talking about this and having here in the run of show of like, did we get Steph Curry, in these last 2 games? And I think there's like some further context to put in this. And one, this was a Warriors team that came into the season with high expectations. They've had a very uneven start to the season, and they lost in OKC the night before. Was like, okay,
Big loss.
big loss. They were talking
Worst possible result for the Spurs,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah,
If you're getting a team on the second night of a back-to-back, you don't want that first team to blow them out so everybody sits the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they're
right?
pissed.
And they're pissed off, and they're kind of like sending shots at each other through the media, and then probably getting together behind the scenes and hashing it out. Fuck no.
no, they're doing that, but they're all, once again, these are vets. Like your main core of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's at least been to the finals. Like he knows what it takes to get there.
Drug his team to the finals.
Yeah, and the other 2 guys, they've won the finals. They got a coach that knows how to ego manipulate like the best of them of all time. And it's just like backs against the wall. We got to respond. Oh, there's this resurgent young team in the league. Like, watch this, and this is kind of the thing, I wanted to talk about with this team, especially with like the way Steph played in like the 2 games. He scored 95 points, man. And they have a way that they're playing where essentially if anyone else is doing this, they're getting called on moving screens and everything, but they do it every time. Same with like Draymond barking at the refs. The reason he gets a long leash is because it happens every time. And so when they're able to do this, this is like the mark of a veteran team, is that they know how to impose their will on the game and the gamesmanship within that. They have these very specific dribble handoff, kind of shovel underhanded passes to Steph. And as they pass to Steph, their momentum is going forward and they're able to set that pick. And technically that's a moving screen. But they do it every time.
Steph Castle got caught on one yesterday, elbowed right to the face. Steph hits a 3, and he's like, and the ref's like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, it's
Exactly. Yeah, man. So, like, Steph was sick. He needed to go nuclear. Went on us. Like, be happy. These weren't blowouts. They were winnable games. I think that's where the frustration comes from with overall the fan base. But like,
That's the thing that
That's what
sticks out
happens.
from last night, is that Steph Curry was killing them all game, and then at the end it was actually the other guys that stepped up. It was Pods hitting a three.
Gary Payton hit
Gary
two.
Payton hitting two.
Who never hits threes.
And the play, like one of those threes was like Payton set a screen for Curry. Vassell and Fox both went with and jumped at Curry, and then Payton's right next to him, and Steph, who has like 40 whatever at this point, is like, "Yo, hit this."
And you're
right?
okay with that.
Yeah, you got to live with that, right? There was another play late in the guts of this game where Draymond basically slipped a screen and got an open layup because two guys went with Steph Curry.
Gary Payton had the same thing. There was a lot of, when Steph's shooting like that, we talk about it all the time with Wemby. He is pulling so much gravity from who's playing defense. And they have these two slip screens, like you said, Tom, like right to the basket. And it's like, I think some people are like, well, they fell asleep on defense. And it's like,
They did.
No, they were too awake.
They were trying to stop the guy who was going like 9 of 17 from 3.
You gotta throw everything at him because Steph Curry feels inevitable. I was thinking about it last night. I drove home. This was an instant classic game last night.
It was a great game.
I want to be clear about that. I was closing up at the shop and I was done and I was exhausted and I wanted to get home and lay in my bed, but I was also wired. And I just sat down and I watched the end of this game and I drove home with the radio off just thinking like, what is that Steph Curry guy like? And you know the scene in Casino Royale when Bond is strapped to the chair and Mads Mikkelsen just keeps like hitting him in the nuts over and over again?
I'm very aware of that scene, yes.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Because you know it's coming and there's nothing you can do about it. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And every time it's like, surely that was the last one.
No.
And he just does it again. And you just kind of gotta... You gotta laugh, you know? It's completely inevitable. And the whole time he's just beaming. He's just thrilled. He
was
shocked
surprised
by his own
himself,
talent.
yeah.
You know? Like, man, that guy is him. You watch him play, and if somebody says that's the most dominant basketball player I've ever seen, I wouldn't argue with him.
I'm going to say that.
You know, like that's just how he is. Right? Oh, that's an arguing face.
Oh, I mean, I just remember watching Shaq back in the day when he gave a shit. That was...
Look, I think...
that was the most dominant, I think.
But we've had 15 years of this shit with Steph.
No, I agree.
Look, and the question is there cause for concern or did we get Steph Curry? And I think the simple answer is you got Steph Curry. It's just like there's no need to overreact. It's you tip your cap to greatness. I think... You know, if there's someone you're going to lose to, it's Steph Curry. It's like, oh, okay, Steph Curry's 9 for 17 for 3. There was a point in the third to the start of middle of the fourth where he's just getting the inbounds pass and walking up and pulling it's just, there's no offense. It's just the offense is, hey Steph, just pull it. You're hot right now.
I know the exact moment you're talking about because he crossed half court. He saw that there wasn't a guy within
Jeremy
2
Sohan.
feet of him, and he just pulled.
And then it happened again with Devin Vassell. It's the gravity
he got Fox with like a pass away and get it right back.
And then pumped it, and then it's just this guys, you're saying, well, I'm not gonna argue with you. He's 6'3", maybe.
He's as tall as I am.
And he runs.
We're actually the same age.
And he runs around. Yeah, AB. And I look at you. I look at this stature, and I look at you, and I'm like, man. This guy is doing it to the whole league, and it's happened forever.
And to Wemby in particular, this is the thing where it's like I'm so glad that we're having this conversation on November 15th, right? And what it may mean for May, because think about Wemby, silver medal with that fucking guy shooting it right over your gigantic fingertips. And then he comes to your house with the special jerseys and the special courts and a national TV game and puts belt to ass for 96
he
minutes
scored
in a row.
half their points last night. Like that's the way. Like look at the scoreboard and then look at his point total. It is legitimately like half the points.
Can we pivot to talking about the team we like?
Of course we can.
Sure.
Let's talk about the last play.
Yeah.
I think we got to talk about that.
We got to talk about the last 3 minutes, I think.
The last play, you can never be mad with your clutch player of the year getting a shot in his preferred position. I don't necessarily like the play call starting in the backcourt. I think there could have been something more. The Warriors only had Draymond on the court, so to act like we couldn't have and we're only down one, that they could have attacked the paint a little more and been more aggressive with 6 seconds to go. I think there's plenty of time to get a good play to get downhill in the front court. You don't have to start the play in the back court and get this full speed momentum going down. That's like a 3 seconds left type play call, not a 6 seconds left. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's Jimmy Butler out there, and the dude was blowing up the pick and roll last night, in particular. And I looked at the still that you put up on Twitter this morning, Zach, and
which, by the way, people are pissed off about. It was just a question. It wasn't like it was like De'Aaron Fox fucking sucks. It was just like, what do you see here?
Well, I have a slight disagreement with the play call, because I think what the play call was De'Aaron, you're a pretty solid mid-range shooter.
Right.
Get to one of your spots in mid-range, pull it early, because if you miss, Wemby is there to tip it in. And when I see the angle, at least from the TV angle, yes, Wemby is holding his hand up, but the pass would have to go through two guys. It would have had to go through Jimmy Butler and Draymond. And if you don't think that Draymond Green is not going to throw every piece of his body into Wemby and put him on the line at worst, like, that's what's going to happen. So I don't think the play it's not the greatest play, but I don't think it was the worst situation that could have happened. I think there were a few times, to your point, Tom, in the 3 minutes down, where we started pushing the pace when we should have just held on to it, worked a little bit more through Wemby, because Draymond Green in both those games could not hold him. I mean,
he had 5 fouls at that point last night.
Yeah, but like there was a time when Devin Vassell like completely rushed a shot when there was like 21 seconds in the shot clock, and it's like, we don't need this game to get chaotic. This is the time to like lock in slowly. And that's where I think that's like the veteran experience, where like in a playoff game that's like slow down and you can't like let the emotions of it. But like Ross Bank Center was hyped about this.
But then you see Steph Curry raining threes on one, and you're like, I gotta go respond. And it's like, that's part of it too, where it's like it's a mental war too.
Totally. Absolutely.
I think the last play, as much as I would have loved to see, some action involving Wemby, one, that brings Draymond Green into the play actively, defensively. Two, like you said, Jimmy Butler had sort of been blowing up that pick and roll all night, and especially late, and it was late in this game, the last 3 minutes, for me, because it's more than just the last play, right? In those last 3 minutes, you have a play where they run that high pick and roll, try to get it to Wemby like at the top, and ball gets turned over, goes the other way.
Poor pass.
That play you were talking about with Vassell in transition, he had Castle on the lob.
He did.
Right there. It was an easy play that they missed, and then turned this 2-on-1 break that should have been a Showtime like momentum nail in the coffin feeling play, and didn't get that done. And then that last play, could there have been a lob up to Wemby? Yes, maybe. Could there have been a play designed to get a more open shot? Absolutely. But it was the play before where there was a cleaner lob to Wemby,
and Fox missed it again. Yep.
And I don't remember if that was the one where Fox wound up taking like a step back.
No, it was the same exact spot he missed the game winner.
And so, I think in those moments, they need to look at what happened here, not just with Steph Curry getting on them, which is going to happen to a degree, but there's also a lot that they can learn from the tape of Steph dropping 95 on them in the last 48 hours. So watch that, but don't just watch that. Watch how the Warriors defense was able to force the Spurs into those looks that they had down the stretch, right?
Yeah.
And how to avoid that.
We've talked about this a lot. And you know what? I'm glad I'm here with my buddies, because I need some accountability buddy time.
Sure.
So let's just talk about, look, we're not riding as high on the hog as we were last week between it. And
Bummer. It
you
was such a fun time.
yeah, Tom, Zach, I got to be held accountable.
What'd you say, AB?
Whew, man, last week I was like, we're going undefeated this week. I believe in this, and I was wrong. We went 1-2. So I just want you guys to hold me accountable. I'm sorry for calling it wrong.
I will hold you accountable because now I'm mad at you because I believed you.
Yeah.
I got caught
Did you
up.
call it before me or after?
I called
me?
it after.
Yeah.
I got caught up in the excitement of it all. It seemed like a good idea. All my friends jumped off the bridge, and I was like, "Yo!"
I didn't.
And fucking Steph Curry was there, and so splash. And yeah, I thought that the Warriors may have some jelly legs coming off of that Thunder game. And then the Spurs would be, and would be shorthanded, and they were not shorthanded. They were just short fused and well rested as one can be after getting their butts kicked. So didn't I didn't have Steph scoring more points the second game. Also, that's not something I said aloud, but I was like, oh man, he got 46. Surely he will have less than 46 this time.
Jesus Christ.
And then he had 49, and so that's probably on me. Sorry, guys.
I did say that we are going to go 2-1 last week. Didn't happen. I also said don't expect to see how Al Horford play in the first game, and he played. He went 3 for 6 and made a lot of big buckets. So I take accountability for that, guys. That's on me. I expected him to play against the champions and not against Spurs, but clearly that shows that the Warriors might respect the Spurs a little more than the champions. Don't take that from me, though.
I'm just saying. Well, hey, we're gonna pivot now into some more positivity here. We'll be right back with some high praise. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is high praise. We know we've had 2 losses this week, but there's still positives to pull out of this whole situation, and thankfully, your friendly neighborhood Austin Spurs-based podcast, Austin-based Spurs podcast, is here to help. So I'm going to kick us off. I got this guy's jersey here the other night, and this is a delightful jersey, I gotta say. It still has the New Jersey smell, too, so I really like that. I want to shout out Stephon Castle, especially in the last 5 games. We've really seen him turn on to another level as far as like being a playmaker and crashing the boards. I tweeted about this earlier this week, but I'm really seeing a SGA-like game in a Jimmy Butler body with Stephon Castle. And what I mean by that is specifically the way that he attacks the rim. That's kind of been something that SGA was always been good at. And up until last season, finally his three-point shot came around. I'm seeing a lot of that with Steph Castle. I don't think he has as great of a handle as SGA, but all that being said, he's got a big body. He's crashing, has incredible hang time, and further from a statistical perspective, he is leading the team. Well, he's in minutes played, like majority minutes played. He's leading the team in offensive rating, and he is 3rd in defensive rating. Victor Wembanyama isn't even in top 5 right now. Probably is in top 5 if you make some adjustments for like playing time. But Stephon Castle, I want to really just shout him out. The way that he is, I think, been the kind of soul of this team. I have here in my notes that Keldon has been the heart of it, but I think there's something about that dog mentality that he's been bringing to every game, and he has so much on his plate, and he's working his ass off, figuring things out. Really proud of Stephon Castle. So that's mine. Tom, what do you got?
I gotta just shout out Spurs fans, the Jackals and everybody else that's packing that Frost Bank Center. Every game, I'm pretty sure every home game has been a sellout.
They're number 1 capacity in the league.
Yeah,
They're over a 101 percentile that's selling out. So
official capacity for the Frost Bank Center is
18 something.
18,418, and they're averaging like 18.7 per home game. Just sticking them with the popcorn vendors and stuff. The arena's been super fun. It's been there's a buzz in the fan base in the city, in the basketball world. Like,
Well, last night the attendance was 19,059, so they're above capacity.
yeah, they're stuffing in, and
They're finding seats for people.
yes.
Standing room only, man.
No, it's a basketball show exciting enough to see. These losses were close, right? They were, there were some oohs and ahs on the road for Steph Curry, but it didn't feel like the 50-50 that it kind of was for a time when the Spurs were really going through it, right? But I think that's something that we kind of got like a glimpse of the Spurs' future and Wemby's future, and got to see like the tail end for the Warriors, that poetry, that full circleness of like, because that fourth quarter, and I know you're going to talk about Wemby in his fourth quarter here, but that fourth quarter in Chicago felt like, man, he's just taking over completely. He's the guy. He's him. And then Steph does it to you, but let's focus on the happy bit. Let's focus on the Wemby bit, Zach.
Wemby fourth quarter scoring numbers have been pretty good. Last night, I don't think he sat in the whole fourth quarter. I think he played all 12 minutes, which tells you that Mitch is relying on him. He played great down the stretch. He's averaging 9 minutes a game in the fourth quarter, 9 points a game, 3 rebounds, shooting 52% from the floor, 47% from three-point land, and he's a plus 19 over the season in the fourth. So he's playing winning minutes. His numbers back it up. And once again, I think Sean Elliott always says on the broadcast, he makes them when they matter. And in the fourth quarter, especially in that, Monday was fantastic in the fourth quarter. Brought the Spurs back, was the reason they won that basketball game. Wednesday, he was the guy scoring buckets in that fourth quarter to keep them in the game. And then last night, same situation, was hitting big shots, hit a few big threes in the fourth quarter to kind of steady the ship to match Steph Curry when Steph was going crazy. So, clutch, whatever you want to call him, Wemby knows when the moment's big and can step up to it.
Yeah, man. I mean, this was similar pattern last season. I think there was a couple like King of the Fourth comments, at one point last year. I feel a lot better after just kind of getting some more positivity.
Look, and to be positive, to go one more into it, the Spurs, they have 3 of their 4 losses this season have been 5 points or less. So the Lakers game had a chance to tie it at the free throw line to go to overtime and a potential chance to win. They were beating the Warriors up until about the 5-minute mark on Wednesday. And then the same situation on Friday where they lose by a point and have a chance to win the game. So we could be talking so differently about this week or this season. They could be first place at this point with how this goes.
I think this is sort of a good transition, because I know you wanted to talk about this. We were talking a little bit before the show about like the way that this team is talked about, right? And in the Spurs fan base, in the NBA fan base in general, in the sports media landscape, right? These are really, really close losses to a like Mount Rushmore type of player in NBA
players
history. Yeah,
Luka and Steph,
and like especially in this week, you're needing like the best possible version of Steph to eke out a win over this Spurs team twice, so that is like, yeah, if every team that ever got Steph Curried down the stretch of a game where they had a lead in the fourth and then let it slip away and then there were questionable decisions made, if every one of those teams had to like fire somebody or like get somebody out of the lineup or whatever, I think that the NBA would be a pretty even higher turnover field than it is.
There's a few things. One, like before this week, or after I should say the Chicago game, the team was on a 65 win pace. Did any of us think that they were going to win 65 games at the beginning of the year?
Go look at the film. No.
No. No one did.
We didn't say that.
We did not. They have been a good team. They are the NBA's official new toy of the league, putting them on national TV so much. Wemby has definitely risen to the occasion. So much of Bleacher Report and House of Highlights is riddled with Wemby highlights. I love it. I'm loving the buzz. I'm loving all these things. And at the end of the day, we're a good team. We're not great. And we will have many opportunities to be great. And I guess the other part of it is, I saw like after the Bulls game, like, this should have been a blowout, and it wasn't. And like, we should have won this game, and we didn't. And the thing about the regular season is, especially right now, figure stuff out. We are 12 games into the season, and it's not a matter of style points of winning. I know the NBA Cup wants that, but it's about winning. It's about learning from your losses. And right now, I think we dipped into closer to like a 46, 48 win pace. Still pretty good.
And that's about what we said it was.
That's about what we said it was. And this entire season, you are going to see in the Western Conference, we go on a little run, we're in second place. We dip on 2 games, we're in 7th. It's going to be volatile.
Yep, that's the word I described it. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a volatile time. And so we are, as a fan base and as a podcast, we're evaluating this team differently than we did last year. Last year, the last few years, it's been like, this is really cool development. And there's a difference in watching the team from I'm watching for development. I'm watching for little tweaks. This team has real playoff aspirations, expectations for themselves. Wemby has said 6th seed. As far as I'm concerned, we're still on track with that. Zach, I think you had a great point about 3 out of our 4 losses were close. They were winnable. We fell asleep in Phoenix. Turns out Phoenix is actually pretty good.
Decent team.
Yeah. Turns out
Toronto's a decent team.
Turns out we played some pretty decent teams out there. And I was also saying before the show, and I know I'm kind of ranting here, is like, I don't really buy into strength of schedule, because when you're a good team, the strength of schedule looks worse, or like not in your favor. When you're a bad team, like, you have a harder strength of schedule. It's not college football where you're going, okay, so Notre Dame lost to A&M, but in this team,
it's like UFC fighters. Like, no, that person beat that person. No,
this isn't a transitive property thing. It's just get through the regular season, learn from it, make adjustments as you go along, figure out what works. And even Coach Pop back in the day, we can even bring up the what some people thought was the Point Sohan experiment for the season. It was 20 games. We're not even at 20 games. We got 8 games left till we're at 20 games. So that's kind of I think as a fan base, as a group covering the team and everything, this is just new territory again. And it's a different media landscape from when the team was good.
Yep.
And there's a superstar who wants that attention.
But I think that's also it, where it's when the Spurs were the Spurs of old, the whole organization from top to bottom was like, we like to do our thing, our own pace, our own way. Now I think this organization is embracing the fact that Wemby is here, embracing that there's this young talent, and realizing that in order to be a big market per se in this league, it's all about social media. It's not how many people that live in your city. It's how many views you can get on something, how many clicks this brings you. Not to say it's clickbaity, but Victor Wembanyama is a very easy thing to push.
It's called the attention economy.
He's statistically the most viral athlete in the league right now.
In the world.
I would guess in the world, just based on
who he is, his stature, the way he handles himself. I think he's like it's a great comparison for me. You look at Steph Curry, he's 6'2", and you're like, everything he does is amazing. And you look at Victor Wembanyama, and he's 7 whatever, and everything he does is amazing. They're both very likable people, and they're both very easy to market with. And
I don't know. I actually think Steph personally is not a very likable person, but
on the basketball court, they're very easy to watch.
I mean, the night.
It's very
there's
easy.
There's a lot of stuff.
It's
with
very.
Steph,
I
but,
feel like they.
just look up Steph Curry in housing sometime.
That's a whole different thing. I just think in general of like, for the NBA to push somebody, it's very easy to push those two people. One you can relate to, and you're like, oh, I can maybe be Steph Curry one day. And one is like, I will never be that. And I will never be 7'10", and I will. So it's very easy for them
That's
to push.
what people when people say, oh, people ask me all the time, do you think that Wemby is going to change the game? No, I don't think Wemby is going to change the game. Changing the game, like Michael Jordan changed the game because when he was doing his thing, it was like, oh man, you could be like a athlete who works out and
Be like Mike.
Right.
Yes, you can be like Mike. Steph Curry changed the game. Allen Iverson changed the game because of what he was wearing, how he was,
And his height,
himself.
and who he his stature.
Steph Curry changed the game because anybody can learn how to shoot a jump shot, pretty much. No, you can't learn how to be 7'5".
You can't. They don't stretch. They can. There's a surgery now, or they can add little bone dents. But you can't be 7'5".
Did you recently watch The Materialist?
No. I saw a random
You've been
clip.
looking into it.
I'm already tall enough. I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. I'm above average. I'm good.
Must be nice.
I think to your point, Tom, like revolutionize the way other people play the game. I think when you see someone like Steph Curry, it's like I can see myself in this.
Right.
Victor Wembanyama, literally everybody is
Mesmerized.
looking up
And
to him.
that's a huge part of the
Show
appeal,
somebody who doesn't watch basketball a Victor Wembanyama highlight, and they're like, "What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?"
There is a with nothing but respect, there is a certain element of it that is like, this is freaky to look at.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so
Well,
but it's a target every game. Every guy that, gets the chutzpah to go up with him wants to put him on a poster. Every game they're looking for the like, hey, we held him to 20 and 10.
Speaking of, I mean, he's getting targeted out there, and we're going to transition here now to like, what do you think the rotations need to look like? What does Coach Mitch need to be looking at, especially with this upcoming slate of games?
I just need to see a little more staggering of Wemby and Fox. It's frustrating to see them both leave the court together, especially with no Dylan Harper right now. I just think for the time being that those two guys need to be staggered. Especially, we saw it last night. The Spurs got De'Aaron to play first play of the game to get him going. I just think it's easier for both those guys to kind of get in a rhythm. Not to say they both can't coexist. I think they're trying to learn how to play together right now.
Yep.
So I think it's easier for them to kind of get in a rhythm without having to worry about, hey, where's De'Aaron? Hey, where's Wemby? Just get in a rhythm, get going, and let's get this flow of the game going, and then we can try to merge this together deep in the fourth quarter and whatnot. I just think that's what I want to see.
What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I think staggering those guys would be really good, just providing all-star presence on the floor at all times. I think potential, as much as I like French vanilla on the court together, I do think that there are situations where you can use it and should use it. I don't think that should be the default. And I think that, I would sort of like to see, maybe Harrison Barnes heads to the bench. Whoever heads to the bench earliest on the perimeter, I would like to see Jeremy Sohan getting some more opportunities there. He should be a especially with the way that they were getting killed on the perimeter by the Warriors, like that wasn't just Steph and the Warriors. That was, this team has struggled with perimeter defense. You've got a a guy that you've invested heavily in who is known for that. And if you are playing against a team that's got really good outside creators, and it's Luke Cornett getting hunted and put in drop coverage over and over again, like Luke Cornett we're very high on, and he's going to be very valuable to this team. But there are going to be situations where the matchup doesn't allow for as much Cornett, and you probably need a little bit more Sohan in those moments. What about you, AB?
Give me some NASCAR package. Let's get some pace and chaos out there. Personally, I would love to see a little bit more Sohan out there, but I want to see him at like a small ball 5 with Fox, Castle. Give me Vassell and Champagny, or shit, put Carter Bryant out there too. I mean, like, make the game chaotic, and that Cornett, French Vanilla, worked really well in Chicago overall and getting boards. I mean, we're kind of haven't talked about it last night, but like the offensive rebounding was just not there compared to other games, and so I want to just see a little more pace when it comes to that, to just change up the game.
Especially if Wemby is off the floor.
I think you can, even with this type of pace lineup, put Wemby in.
You could.
Yeah.
You could. But what you were describing was Sohan at the 5 and basically a bunch of wings that can switch everything and then also have like multiple points of attack. And
I mean, you put De'Aaron Fox and Steph Castle there getting downhill and either driving kick to the corners, something like that. But just get young, get fast, get chaotic, learn from that. I think Carter Bryant, he's been sitting behind the bench a little bit, so maybe they're prepping for him to come, up to Austin to play. But that's kind of still one of those where I'm like, I really want to see Sohan and Bryant out there. Like, there's not going to be shooting, but like maybe no one scores a point for 5 minutes. So
it's like an NFL football game at that point.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of like a good old Alabama LSU game from like years ago. So,
formation.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to see. But just because we are running long, let's get into this next week. We have a really, hopefully, friendly slate of games. They're all at home. It's going to be the end of this 5-game homestand. We're going to have Kings on Sunday. We're going to have Grizzlies on Tuesday. And then this very interesting Hawks team on Thursday. So Sacramento comes in for a matinee showing tomorrow.
2:30 tip.
3
o'clock.
3 o'clock tip. And there's already a lot of public, we're going to blow this team up. Doug Christie, the coach, is saying like, put my Kings jersey back on. I'll go out there and play. It's like,
what a weird comment.
Okay, Doug Christie. They got players that can go scorched earth like Zach LaVine, Malik Monk as well. I believe DeMontis is playing again, but he seems to be kind of like their big trade chip. Not really sure this team works, and they're like a bad vibes team. Don't fucking sleep on this, though, Spurs. Like, get out there. This is a take care of business type game. Good bounce back game. And further, Mitch Johnson, if you want to experiment with lineups, this should hopefully be a good one to do it in.
There's, like, we talked about the bad vibes that the Warriors had coming in, but the Warriors, though, are battle-tested champion winners, and the Kings are the Kings. And so this is one of those games where it's like, yes, there's danger on the other bench. There's always danger on the other bench. It's the NBA. But, like, Spurs should be the team that is pissed off after getting beat by their betters, and should be looking to take it out on the team that has a little bit less going for them right now. De'Aaron Fox revenge game, like, I don't think that's nothing, right?
He's getting going, so
and he's got. I think he'll be sort of replaying those last 3 minutes of the game over and over again. He's going to be wanting to get out there and tear the rim down. So I am,
Hold on, what do you got on this one,
I'm
Zach?
interested to see.
The Kings are poor defending the paint, and they don't shoot a lot of threes. So on paper, this is a ideal get yourself back in the win column type of game for the Spurs. The Spurs funnel everything to the lane to Wemby. All right, well, the Kings want to play in the paint. Perfect. The Spurs like to live in the paint. Well, if you're poor defending the paint, get in there and get yourself some free and easy buckets. So this should be a game that the Spurs should manage. I don't really care. I really don't care if it's a blowout or anything. I just want to see wins. That's just kind of where I'm at with it.
Again, it's regular season.
Right.
Just win,
Just
baby.
win the damn
you
game.
know?
No one looks back in 10 years like, oh, they only won. They beat the Kings by 4. Like, who like,
cares?
no, it's a win in the win column.
Yeah. All right, next game, Tuesday night. The weirdest team that we always struggle against. Memphis Grizzlies coming into San Antonio. But they are a bad vibes team.
Horrible vibes.
Morant.
The worst vibes yet.
Ja Morant pulling a full-on Jimmy Butler with them.
Bad vibes.
It's a weird situation in Memphis. I listened to someone this week who was like, the big trade piece they have is Jaren Jackson Jr. I was like, oh, that's what we're talking. Okay, but man, I know they're a bad vibes team, but this team is like the Pelicans for us. Like we typically go like, we should take care of business. This is one. And then it's like something about playing the Grizzlies is always tough. I feel like Wemby wants to get back. Wemby, your people, if y'all are watching this, once again, this is motivation for you. Remember that time Ja Morant dunked on you, but it didn't technically count? Yam on his ass.
And he acted like it counted, and everyone acted like it counted.
We need a section for this, a special segment for this where AB talks directly to the camera and Victor Wembanyama.
It's their own sit down. Their own sit down, yeah.
It can be when
We'll talk about it off.
when bulletin board material.
There we go.
We got there. When bulletin board material.
Are we spelling it WIN? To really...
Once again, we'll take this offline. The thing about this team, at least from a perimeter perspective, they shoot a lot of threes, but they don't make them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll make us feel better. But they have an excellent rookie in Cedric Coward. This dude's like leading the league in a lot of advanced categories.
I will say, I scouted him. He's part of my guys that I watch, and he can hoop.
Yeah, he's a good guy. What do you guys got on this one?
Just stay out of your own way. I mean, I think it's a very simple take on it. Stay out of your own way, play your basketball. This team turns the ball over a lot, and the Spurs also turn the ball over a lot. So you got to stay out of your way and let them make mistakes.
This is, I mean, the Memphis team that has sort of had the Spurs number a little bit is imploding, right? The vibes with Ja are awful, just truly, truly awful. It looks like he's out there like throwing it, like, you know, like it's. I think a loss would be sort of unacceptable for the Spurs, because that would be like a failure in appropriate fear, right? This is a game where I would actually like to see a blowout. You know, I think ideally 2 blowouts this week. I don't care which games, but I would like to see, you know, like not just taking care of business with the win, but actually
You need some belt to ass.
I need them to take out some frustration. I need them to execute against poor execution. I need them to, you know.
Well, if they blow out this last team, I will be surprised. The Atlanta Hawks then come for the last of the homestand. They're playing really well without Trae Young. As of this recording, they've only lost 2 games since then.
6-2.
Their current starting lineup ranks 7th out of 35-man lineups that have played over 100 minutes together. They're long. They are aggressive. They have Jalen Johnson on a heater. They have Dyson Daniels killing it again from defense. I believe Kristaps has come back as well, but this is going to be one of those times where they recently beat the Jazz going scorched earth from 3, and it's not going to be an offense where we're going to have like a main focal point. This is going to be like a 5-man, need to play defense, on everyone because everybody can shoot on that team.
Can we talk about Jalen Johnson for a second?
Yeah, sure.
That Jazz game, November 13th, career high in points, 31, rebounds, 18, assists, 14, and steals, 7. A historic stat line that has never been recorded before in the NBA. That guy is a problem.
And remember, Wemba bulletin board material here. Jalen Johnson dunked on you last year. Go get him. Granted, we did win that game. After he did that, it really kind of woke up Wemby. But this is another team that, like, kind of they've hit their stride without their best player on the team. And when Trae Young comes back, I expect him to be good. I think we're closer in talent to this team than others, even though they're like 5th right now in the East. So, yeah, gonna be a really difficult challenge here, and this kind of goes back to De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle just crashing on drives and going and kicking out. That's gonna need some quick on the trigger, Champetti and Barnes corner threes. What do you got on this one, Zach?
Their last 5 out of 6 wins, they scored over 120 points.
They're good.
They play basketball. You had to play some defense against this team. As I said, they're 6-2 without Trae Young as of this recording. Trae Young problem? Question mark. Not my issue to deal with, but I can say this team's good, and this team's gonna. The Spurs are gonna have to fight. I think this is an opportunity for the Spurs to take a winning record out of the 5-game homestand, and I would be very happy with a 3-2 record. A 2-3 record would kind of be disappointing. Yep. So this is a great opportunity. These next 3 games, as we mentioned, that there are wins. The first 2 games are going to be a little easier than the last one.
Well, let's close it out. What do you guys got this week? Zach, I'm going to let you go first. Tom,
I'm going to get back. Next, I'm getting back on the good vibes. I think there's an opportunity for this team to look themselves in the mirror, take their licks, grow up, and go 3-0.
Damn, dude, I didn't expect you to be the 3-0 this week.
That's me.
Okay.
Keep everyone on their toes around here.
All right, man. Okay, next week, just remind me. Tom's got to go first, so he just doesn't get sucked up into the vibes of everything.
Get caught up in the moment.
All right, This is not me caught up in the moment. This is me looking at the schedule and saying you gotta beat these teams. I think the first 2 games, I'll raise you to 2 blowout wins this week.
Fuck, dude.
And
you're wild,
record
dude.
for the Spurs. I think that is, but that's the level of, like, you know,
I have a feeling
there's levels to this. We saw this week. Right now, they're not on the Warriors level. I think they are.
No, they're just not on the Steph Curry level. That's who we lost
exactly.
to.
And so I think they are levels and levels above the Hawks and the Kings and the Grizzlies.
So what are you going for the week? What's your record for the
3-1 with 2 blowouts.
No, it's only 3 games.
3-0 with 2 blowouts.
3-0 with 2 blowouts.
That's wild. I'm just taking wins. I'm not hoping for blowouts.
I feel like I got to be the sane one, much like Udonis Haslam is on the Amazon Prime.
He was good on the show last week. We needed to.
I knew it was coming. This fucking guy.
We got it. We got it in there under the wire.
And he was like, "How am I gonna fit this in?"
I actually was right there. I'm gonna go 2-1. As much as I'd like to join y'all on the 3-0 train, I'm kind of roller coastering with this young team. I don't know, the Hawks game, I've like done more research on this Hawks game than I really expected. It's a really fascinating team. If we go 3-0, that's great, because the schedule coming up after this, we're about to really find out what this team is. Mm-hmm. So I'm still going to go 2-0 this week. With that being said, fellas,
2-0, there's 3 games.
I said 2-1.
2-1, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now I corrected myself if I did say 2-0.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
We got
they heard it.
We
got
there.
it on wax. Regardless, we're at the end of the show.
The show's over.
We mentioned Udonis Haslam. We talked about the greatness of Steph Curry and Victor Wembanyama. I feel like that was a good show. What do you guys got to say before we dip out?
Don't be discouraged. Basketball is a very hard game to watch if you're an emotional fan. So don't get discouraged. Enjoy greatness and appreciate what you're watching.
You know what? Screw what Zach said. Get disappointed. I think that's why, to bring it full circle, That's why.
No, don't
these
let it
two
ruin your day.
losses-
Don't let it ruin your day.
Let it ruin your week.
No, don't. No.
Let it
There's
ruin-
a lot of basketball
Let
left.
it ruin your whole life because that's the thing that I thought when I was sitting in my car with the radio off was like, man, it feels like I got hit in the gut with a steel chair. Like,
But like it
watching
was
this.
Stone Cold Steve Austin who hit you with a
Yes.
steel chair.
Friends, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna. Cause
I love how much it hurt.
Hey, embrace all of life's emotions. That's what
There you
makes
go.
it beautiful.
There you
We got
go.
70 more games
Only.
of this team. Enjoy the ride, y'all. This is the first time in years that this team has real playoff expectations and aspirations. Embrace the ride, embrace the growth, and go Spurs go. We'll see y'all next week.